So why don't I ever show any Cathay wins? Well, that's certainly not true, but let's just roll with it for a minute. Or you could say that for really any faction. Why don't I ever show any High Elf wins, or Vampire Count wins, or this or that, all of which are a little bit ridiculous, because I show wins for every faction eventually. But there's a few factors to consider here. Number one is how I go about choosing replays. For me, it's not really so much about showcasing a faction winning or losing. It's primarily about showcasing replays that I think are interesting, and also just showcasing a faction in general, whether it's a win or a loss. I generally try to showcase a faction every so often. A big part of that is also what replays get submitted to me, right? A lot of the time in the past, 6 months or so, more, haven't had as much time as I would like to play my own games, or haven't had the will, or just for whatever reason, don't want to burn myself out on the game. Personally, I prefer casting a lot more than playing. I still do enjoy playing from time to time, but well, I have relied a lot on replays from the community over the past few months, which has really been awesome. I love to see different people's playstyles and kind of their different approaches to things, but that does mean I'm reliant on them to get certain replays. And Cathay is one of those factions that, although they are very strong, so much so that Fruit Rules actually limits the types and numbers of units that they can bring, in particular something like Onyx Crowman that kind of breaks their kind of faction identity and gives them a lot of extra strength. But anyway, they're just not the most exciting faction to play, and a lot of people in the community don't really enjoy playing them all that much, so that's probably why a good reason why I don't get submitted a lot of Cathay wins, right? It's not like I have some secret bias against Cathay. I just don't get a lot of Cathay wins because people don't really enjoy playing Cathay that much, at least based on my assessment. Again, if you're a Cathay player out there and you feel differently, get on over to my Discord and start slamming some replays out there, and we can maybe change the narrative a little bit. But yeah, that's sort of my 2 cents on it today. We do have this replay from Ryder Rohan showcasing his range, not just playing High Elves. Today he's playing the Human High Elves in Cathay. He's got some Jade Warriors up front, some Jade Halberds in the back, 2 Grand Cannons, Miao Ying here juicing it all up, some Jade Lancers, Righteous Lances, and a couple of Onyx Crowman, of course. Going to be incredibly strong and versatile. Got some Chaos Warriors here. Ooh, I like that upgraded Storm of Shadows to significantly slow this center pocket. Archaon the Ever-Choosed here is quite strong in Game 3, and definitely a good choice in this matchup. Got some Marauders out on the flanks. Looks like Marauder Horsemen throwing axes. One of them is a Nurglite. And a regular Chaos Knight, Sword and Shield. We've also got the Armored Chaos Troll here. Interesting choice. A Slanesh Hellscourge Marauder. So a nice kind of mixed grab bag of units. Very interesting. But the cannons are immediately going to focus on the trolls, which definitely makes sense. Cathay and cannons do fire damage innately. Going to have a little bonus against those trolls. Although also doing some damage to Archaon. Ooh, looks like we've got the Knights of the Brazen thrown in the back. And look at that side shot cannon right through. It's going to do massive damage. Those cannons probably just paid for themselves on that one single volley right there. And looks like the Onyx Crowman might be honestly just sacrificed here in order to take out that high-value unit. But then a little bit of Burning Head in the back line, pressuring those Iron Hell Gunners. Going to overrun and clip through the Warriors and the Jade and Chaos Warriors in equal measure. But let's see. Ooh, these Jade Lancers in the back get caught mostly flat-footed. At the very last second, they're going to get a little counter charge. Righteous Lances of Wei Jin also charging in. So these Chaos Knights definitely have their work cut out for them, but should do okay initially. The Righteous Lances, of course, with their armor-piercing damage will be quite painful, but the Nurgling Marauder Horsemen pull up with their axes. They're going to poison and do some really nice armor-piercing damage at range there. Cathay getting fully surrounded here, and Archaon just trying to get in here and snipe Miao Ying. He is definitely a strong enough combatant to take her on, so it's going to be a dangerous engagement for her, but at the very least she's in infantry form right now, which gives her plenty of infantry support. Doesn't have the best armor-piercing damage in the world, but yeah, getting that Wrath of the Storm out, a little bit of Immunopsychology, extra melee attack, but she is getting pummeled. Going to have to pop a regrowth on herself and possibly transform into dragon form to give herself that armor-piercing needed to win that fight, but Chaos Knights continuing to take damage to the back line. Onyx Crowman can be used to chase off some of these routing horsemen, or perhaps break the leadership of the trolls as they get into the second level here and cause some massive disruption. Absolute chaos, no pun intended. And maybe all the pun intended, to be honest. But can't believe these cannons are still alive, to be honest. Cannon crews barely holding on to their leadership, I would imagine. Well, no, actually that one does rout, okay. And the Chaos Knights here mostly get pummeled by the Righteous Lances, who are also able to, looks like, tangle those Horsemen throwing axes. They get a little bit too close there. Knights of Brazen Throne, although they've taken massive damage, still do get in here and are going to start to rack up some kills in value. Certainly that Regiment of Renown high leadership means they'll continue fighting, at least for some time, and that terror also that kicks in. They're able to terrify away the Grand Cannon and the Iron Hails, so disruption-wise, at least they're getting some tactical value back. Miao Ying transforms, going to start to take some damage as well, but between her and the Righteous Lances, they've got quite a bit of tools left. That being said, all the Jade Warriors just getting completely ground down and taken out by superior Chaos melee units. Slowly but surely, over here we're seeing a little bit better engagements. These Iron Hails have a little bit of a line to fall back to, perhaps, but let's see. I'm going to try and fire point blank in here. Onyx Crowman also being thrown in to try and delay. There go the Righteous Lances. They're going to charge in on some Chaos Warriors. Try and get some good armor piercing damage, but balance of power wise, I'm surprised Cathay is slightly in the lead. It feels bad, but I guess they did manage to just break the Knights of the Brazen Throne there. This Chaos push starting to run out of steam a little bit, as it's mostly just kind of slow Chaos Warriors at this point. A lot of the mobility has been dealt with, so we do have some Marauders still chasing some routing units here. Maybe peel those, I don't know. Definitely stay on those Iron Hails. There's still 70 of them left, so chasing them off would be quite effective, but a Spirit Leech on Meow. She's going to do some fancy old attack animations here. Oh, that's right. Absolutely dealing some justice to that Chaos Warrior. Drops down, and now I don't think she has matched animations with Archaon, but it's going to have to maneuver away from him if she can, or at the very least lead him away from his infantry support. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good play. Charge over to these halberds, who are going to provide some anti-large. The Righteous Lances can then come in and get a nice surround, so have the Onyx Crowman piling in just for good measure in a beautiful Dread Column formation. This is going to be bad for Archaon as he just slowly gets chunked down in that melee blob there. Taking a look at the rest of the battlefield, we've got some Chaos Armor Trolls coming back from route, some Warriors, Marauders, breaking some more of those Jade Warriors, but well, Meow, I don't know. If Meow goes down here, that could be a big problem. Spirit Leech once again on her. Spirit Leech can be counteracted, obviously, by Regrowth if Rider of Rohan's got the Winds of Magic for it. Unfortunately, we can't see that. But a Regrowth on Meow would be pretty backbreaking at this point. I mean, I don't think the Chaos Warriors here would have enough tools to try and finish her off. But let's see there, a little bit of buff. Yeah, Wrath of the Storm. Nice melee attack buff for all these units. They can just start to trade offensively that much better. Yeah, really is an excellent support lord. Probably one of the best in the game. Dragon siblings in general are just insane for their cost. That's true of most Cathayan lords, to be honest. You compare them to like other factions like Caster Lords, or even like the Exalted Demons, honestly, and they just compare so favorably. A little bit ridiculous, but that's okay. Another reason why Cathay is so strong is their characters are quite good. But Archaon himself's quite a good character also, but this time just didn't quite have enough. And again, although this is certainly a Cathay win, maybe not the most exciting playstyle in the world, and I don't know how much people really enjoy watching this. You guys can let me know down in the comments below. Certainly I appreciate Rider Rohan for sending this one in, of course. And it was fun and interesting in a way. It's just, again, not my favorite playstyle to just kind of play defensively and with the cannons and just kind of like respond to your opponent. And granted, Papa Palpatine also a very good player here. Rider Rohan played it perfectly. Again, I'm not criticizing his play at all. It's just personally not my favorite playstyle to do. But Cathay there's certainly a faction that's very good at it. It's just probably a reason why you don't see it super often on this channel or on others, to be honest. It's just because maybe we as content creators don't find it particularly exciting, and that's also probably true of the players, again, based on the replays I receive. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'll just receive an absolute flood of Cathay replays after this video, in which case maybe I'll do a community replay stream of just Cathay. But I doubt it. That's it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.